of mine. So take your pills and stick to your regimen too. In that way, HIV won't kill you. So say what you want to and act as.
The federal government and the CDC need to release all available information that they have, including the cures that they've been testing for the past 18 years.
It was cruel, it was frightening, it was relentless. And New York was ground zero of what would become known as the AIDS epidemic. And in those early years, it wasn't just a medical crisis. It was a social divide. It led to blame and anger, to tremendous loss and tremendous grief. Over those 35 years, 153,000 New Yorkers' lives were lost. 153,000. Many of our finest, many of our most accomplished, many of our most creative, youngest New Yorkers were lost.
Honestly, we need to put more money into HIV research. That's the only way as of right now. I mean, I'm sure there's a cure out there. It's already killed so many people I know, whether that be because they let the virus overtake them or because they decided that, oh, I don't have to worry about this right now, I can just take a couple pills and I'm good. And it really doesn't work that way. And I've lost really good friends like that.
HIV/AIDS became a lightning rod for stereotyping and for discrimination. It was used to fan the flames of fear and bigotry. It was a looking glass into the soul of society. And individual and collective reactions spoke volumes. Some buildings closed their doors, some families cast aside loved ones. President Reagan refused to acknowledge the disease for 3 years of his presidency. But then there were those who rose to the occasion, who opened their hearts and opened their minds and reached out to people.
I think just people understanding it, understanding what the disease is, how it's passed, how to prevent it, just a better understanding of HIV, and I mean an understanding for people all over the world who are still scared of it and still think of the stigma that, you know, was built up from years ago. I think there just needs to be a better understanding of HIV to help us prevent it.
Well, I think it's a lot of different things. It's a lot of education. It's amazing to me how many people don't think that HIV is over or think that it's not a big deal anymore, or don't know about the fact that if you're undetectable, that you're untransmittable. Like, people don't know that. There's a lot of people that don't know about PrEP, that there's a pill that an HIV negative person can take to keep them from getting HIV. And I think the biggest problem, the biggest barrier to ending AIDS is stigma. There's still such a big stigma to being a person living with HIV and what people think that is, and that you automatically are things that are perceived to be negative. You're automatically either a druggie or a homeless person, or you're, you know, a faggot, and, you know, that's still negative in a lot of different cultures to be gay. And so I think the stigmas and surrounding stigmas around HIV, those are the things that are really the killers, is the lack of education and the barriers keeping that education from happening.
We have made remarkable progress. You put education together with medical advancement, together with political activism, and that has been the real cocktail of success. This year is the first year that there have been no mother-to-newborn transmission. We're not home yet. The goal is to end the epidemic, and that's why New York was the first state to give it a date A target date 2020 as the date to end the AIDS epidemic, end it once and for all. That's success. In the heart of New York, we believe the strongest four-letter words are not hate but love, and not fear but hope. And we carry that banner high and proud. And that's why we will not stop fighting until this epidemic is over in 2020. Thank you and God bless you, and thank you for the honor.